Hi YouTube, this is Raven. I'm a survivor of a 16-year marriage to a covert narcissist or someone with borderline personality disorder. I'm not sure because he hasn't been officially diagnosed by a mental health care professional with MPD or BPD. The views expressed in this video are just based on my opinion, based on a 16-plus year marriage and observations of his behavior. Now, that being said, most of my videos are still private right now. I'm trying to figure out what is going on, if anything, if he's just trying to cause drama again, or if there's something else going on. But the videos, the Narcissists Are Ridiculous series is still up. But I wanted to make this video because I feel like I've turned a corner in my healing, if you want to call it that. You know, when you come out of a narcissistic relationship, you have to realize that you've probably been gaslighted for years and years. You know, your basis of reality has been skewed by someone else. It's, you know, maybe you've been emotionally abused, you've been physically abused, mentally abused, to where, you know, sometimes you don't even know who you are anymore. And so when you start your healing, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to really find out who you are, separate from the narcissist, because they had a role that they tried to put you in. And I think that I really turned a corner. And I know that you're not supposed to take delight or pleasure in someone else's misery. But I have to say, when, you know, I heard that he was having problems at work and then he was fired or let go. I'm not sure what the deal is now, because supposedly he's working as a contractor for the same company. But it felt like there was some karma there, that karma had finally caught up with him, you know, because, you know, he doesn't really work. He works, but he doesn't really work. It's hard to explain. He works from home, so a lot of times he's playing video games when he's supposed to be, or computer games when he's supposed to be working. But, you know, and his idea of working is he's answering emails. Where, you know, he made fun of my work. You know, I had 2 jobs while we were married, and he made fun of that. You know, my little jobs. And, you know, because he made more money, so therefore he thought, you know, that he was more important. And, you know, I guess I had some healing from that. It's like, okay, you know, maybe karma does exist, and maybe, you know, these people do reap what they sow. But also, lately, I think I turned a corner after I got this really nasty email. I read it in the video before. I'm not going to read it again. But in that email, there was so much projection, so much blaming me for everything that's wrong, calling me a negative person. It was just so much anger and animosity in that email, and I don't have that anymore. I mean, I think I did have it at one time. I was just so angry. I mean, I would be driving down the road and I'm gripping the steering wheel of the car. I'm like, oh God, I can't believe he did this to me, and he did this to the kids, and it's just, oh, it's so unfair. And it's like the universe. Yeah, I had that, and at some point, I must have let it go, because I read that email, and there's no way I could write an email like that to him, because I don't have that burden, that heaviness that you have from anger, but he does. And, you know, he accused me in that email of not being able to move on, and I'm like, what do you think I've been doing for 2.5 years? Just because I'm not dating someone, or I'm not engaged to someone, or living with someone, doesn't mean that I'm not moving on with my life. You know, I've gone to nursing school. You know, I'm in nursing school now. You know, I'm even thinking about, you know, when my kids go off to college, I may decide to work part-time as a nurse and go to medical school and be a doctor. I mean, I'm moving on with my life. But he's stuck in that same place that he was when we were married. It's just that he replaced me with somebody else. And I think that he, you know, still wants to cause drama. And I don't want to cause drama anymore. I don't want any drama. I just want to live my life and be happy, because I've been happy for 2.5 years now. I've been rediscovering who I am. I mean, just this past weekend, I made candles. I'd never made candles before. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it was just, I'm discovering new things and doing things that I never did while I was married to him. And, I think he had the same opportunity when we divorced, that he could have gone out and done different things, but, instead he decided to continue living the same life that he always has. He just replaced who was in his life. But I feel like I'd turned a corner because I don't want to cause drama. I don't want to be a source of drama. I mean, that's one of the reasons that when we have pickups and drop-offs of the kids, sometimes I'll have my mother go and pick up the kids or drop the kids off, because that eliminates the possibility of there being drama at a pickup and drop-off. And I had lunch with a friend of mine this past week, and she was saying, "Oh, you are too easy on him. You're too easy on him. I can't believe that you don't, make things difficult, because I would make things difficult for him. I would make things difficult." And I told her, it's like, if you've lived in drama for so long, I mean, 16 plus years of drama, you don't want drama anymore. You want a peaceful existence. And I like having that peaceful existence. And, it was in reference to, I was telling her how the kids had a dentist appointment Friday. And normally I schedule the dentist appointment on a Friday afternoon because, number one, I'm free on Friday afternoons. I don't have clinicals or nursing school. And, so I can take them to the dentist. But it's also close to his condo because the kids still go to the dentist they went to before we were separated. And it's about 45 minutes from my house. But it's only 10 minutes from his condo. So it makes it easy for him to pick up the kids. And it's in a public place, so there's less likely there's going to be drama, at the dentist office. Well, I sent him an email telling him, okay, the kids will be at the dentist. And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, when will they be back at your house?" I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he want me to take the kids to the dentist, then drive all the way back to my house, and then him have to drive 30, 35 minutes down the road to come pick up the kids to drive another 30 to 35 minutes back? It made no sense. So I thought, well, maybe he misread the email wrong. So I sent the email again. It's like, okay, well, I won't be back at my house until probably 6 p.m. The kids will be at the dentist at 4:30. Okay, well, I'll pick them up at 6. And it made no sense. And I don't know what the deal was, why he chose to do that. But, my friend was saying like, "Oh, like you just make it so easy on him." And I was telling her about how that he's decided now that he wants his girlfriend to pick up the kids. He wants a third party to pick up the kids and drop them off too, because he said, since you can't be bothered, to drop your kids off or pick them up. And it's because he wanted a confrontation. The last time we had a drop off and pick up, he wanted a confrontation. He brought his girlfriend along for the confrontation, and I wasn't there. And so then, he sent me an email that he was going to have her start picking up the kids and dropping them off, because I think he thought it was going to cause drama. And I just ignored the email. I'm like, I don't care. I was like, I don't care if your girlfriend picks up the kids or drops them off. I actually trust her more than I do you. And my friend was like, "Oh, hell no. There would be no girlfriend picking up my kids." And I'm like, I trust his girlfriend more than I trust him, because I don't think she's ever put a gun in her mouth and attempted suicide, or, attempted suicide that was a manipulation tactic to get out of the divorce. And she's like, oh, you should send that in an email to him. I'm like, no, I don't want to cause drama. Because, I've gotten to this point where I'm like, okay, you're going to try and cause drama. I'm going to take my own advice now and try to be gray rock. I've told people in my videos before to be gray rock, but, when it comes to it, sometimes I can't resist, especially when he's sending accusations, left and right about you're a negative influence on the kids and you just can't move on and you need counseling and you this, it's always my fault. it's always somebody else's fault, you know, other than his fault. But I feel like I've let that go. That, you know, I want to focus on nursing school. I want to focus on moving on with my life and maybe at some point dating. But I think that if you're in this situation, a situation similar to this, you've got to get to the point to where you can let it go, where you can let that anger go, because it only makes you, it only hurts you. It's not going to hurt them. And I can see how much the anger he's carrying around is hurting him, because he looks sicker, he looks older and tireder every time I see him, and he looks unhappy. And, you know, he's sitting there telling me about how happy he is, and he's moved on, love of his life, yet he looks miserable. And I think it's because of the anger. So that's all for now. Be vigilant, be safe, take care, try to let go of the anger when you can, and be Grey Rock.